Hi there, I'm Joey.
I'm Jacob.
And we are watching Star Trek for the first time. Last time on Star Trek, Klingons, finally! Woo! I mean, I say finally, I really, wasn't expecting them that early on.
No.
You know? I thought they'd be like season 2 or 3 or something. I figured they had to be in the original series.
But... I figured they were. I just thought they'd be after the show got past season 1 figuring itself out phase.
Yeah. And overall, apparently not like a super successful episode either. I mean, it was good.
Right, I mean, okay. If they ever appear again, because we don't know, obviously, if you watched the last episode.
Yeah.
We don't know, but they must have done well enough to appear somewhere else.
Yeah, it's not like Daleks in Doctor Who, where they first appeared in Doctor Who, and it was a smash hit, and they're like bring them back immediately. You know?
Yeah. No, this almost feels like.
It's like, okay, they're kind of cool. There might be some sequel potential.
Yeah, exactly. They were. It's almost like they were lukewarm in terms of reception.
Yeah, like we were only excited because we know the name Klingon.
Right. I honestly, because it's one of those things where we know they're famous. We were like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Anyway, today we're watching an episode called The Alternative Factor.
The Alternative Factor.
Which sounds like the most Spock-ass title I've ever heard.
It does, considering he's the thumbnail.
I would hope so, yeah. We see the thumbnail on Paramount+. He's the thumbnail on the last 3 episodes of this season.
Now, I don't know the title of the next 2, obviously.
Yeah.
But, I like the title of this one.
Yeah. Alright, we're about to get into post-episode thoughts in a second. We are about to watch The Alternative Factor. Alright, delving back into the world of time travel, sort of?
So not really,
Time travel was technically part of it?
But at the same time, it was also during the point in which in the story we actually established it was multi-dimensions.
Yeah.
So ignore time travel.
Yeah, I mean, all we really established is that there are other time travelers other than what the Enterprise does. So, there's that. But honestly, that
doesn't shock
Lazarus
me in and of itself.
Well, yeah, but Lazarus also being a time traveler didn't affect the episode at all.
Ooh, no, not in any way.
Did absolutely nothing. But I did like Lazarus as a character. For nothing else, I think the actor's name is Robert Brown. Phenomenal performance from him.
Oh,
I loved him.
Totally phenomenal.
Yeah, I thought he was great. But then there's also the second Lazarus. There's our universe Lazarus and an antimatter Lazarus.
Who I preferred the antimatter Lazarus.
Well, I like that play on it. That we only know from Lazarus's perspective the whole episode that what this other guy is all about, and that he's like this horrible killer, and we actually meet him in the end, and he ends up being the hero of the story.
Yeah, I mean we saw him briefly once.
Mm-hmm. Well, we saw him a couple of times because whenever they swapped bodies, we saw them fighting in this Tron world or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a cool idea, really cool idea for an episode. About these 2 different universe versions of somebody swapping with each other. I think that's really cool.
And all because it actually makes a lot of sense. In reality, someone who is mentally unstable finds out that there is another version of him.
Mm-hmm.
And that just completely sent him over the rails.
Oh yeah.
That is really cool, and it's a really nice idea, I think.
Yeah. We did go through some of the same. The episode did feel a bit repetitive at times. Just the amount of scenes where they would just leave the Enterprise and beam back down to the ship, and then go back up to the ship, and go back down to Lazarus' ship, and then go back up, and it just happens again and again and again. Nice to have McCoy back in this episode after being absent last week, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like to see him here. I mean, he even wasn't in this one much, but I liked what he was in. I think he has become one of possibly my favorite character on this show. He's just got this wonderful, dry sense of humor, and I just love seeing it. I
mean, he's got this line where he's like, I'm a fantastic doctor. Super young. He doesn't say this part. I made the joke. And then he goes, I'm also really humble. Who's a country doctor?
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
He's hilarious, if nothing else.
Oh, totally. But yeah, I don't know. I liked the way that Lazarus worked off all these characters. I liked him being under McCoy's care, and McCoy just not caring much about him throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I love the way that DeForest Kelley played the one scene when they find him. Because at first McCoy saw him without the cut on his head.
Yeah.
And then he sees him later with the cut. I just love the way that he played that scene. I thought that was great. But the idea of this rip, hole, they describe it a couple different ways. At first it's a rip in the universe, then it's a hole in the universe.
They kind of stuck
then it's a door in the universe.
Yeah, which is the one that stuck.
Yeah, well the door was only there. They only described it as a door in the last 10-15 minutes.
Also fair.
But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It was fine. There's not really much to say here, but it is like a really cool concept. I really
You know
did
what?
enjoy
You
it.
know why I think we have less to say. Not because there's not much happening in the episode. For two things happen. It's a little repetitive, and it takes a while for the audience to understand what's going on.
Yeah, so it does become this mystery story in the end. Like you said that pretty early on. You're like, oh, it's a mystery episode. You know, like we're just slowly finding out more and more about Lazarus, what's going on here, how it relates to that hole in the universe from the beginning. Or I guess the first one was the rip, because I have in my notes here a rip in the universe.
Yes, it's a rip because there's like radiation,
Mm-hmm.
presumably from that corridor they mentioned a couple later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, it takes a while for the audience to understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Once we do though, it's really cool. I mean, it was cool from the beginning, just
Right.
a fun little mystery. But then it got really, really cool. Just great concepts here. I love the scene where Kirk does go into like the antimatter universe and he talks to antimatter Lazarus.
Yeah, who was just like this super chill guy. He's like, listen, I know what the other guy said about me, but is it really him who's the world destroyer?
Mm-hmm. And then we end the episode on a horrifying note.
Right. Haunting.
Kirk's... what happens at the end is antimatter Lazarus has Kirk force regular Lazarus into his doorway, and they get trapped in this time corridor until the end of eternity.
Yeah.
And Kirk...
neither of which can escape.
Yeah, and they'll just be fighting there until time stops. And Kirk like ponders on that at the end. He's like, what would that be like, to the end of eternity?
And all Spock can say is, the universe is safe.
Yeah.
Because even Spock...
And then Kirk responds... Doesn't Kirk respond by saying, like, we're safe? Yeah.
Yeah, he goes,
Yeah.
We're safe.
Yeah.
Not Lazarus.
No. Oh my god. Ooh, horrifying.
It's
I love it. Oh, great.
haunting last note
Space
for the
horror.
episode.
Space horror. We love it. But yeah, I don't know. I think we're actually running quite low on not low on time, but like underrunning here. But I can't think of anything else to say on the episode. It's good. I really did like it.
Like at this point, I think we would just be saying generic things like, "Oh, good, I liked it, good characterization."
Yeah.
Like without saying something we already haven't said. It's just
it's just a solid sound episode. I like
that
it.
purposefully leaves its audience in the dark for most of the episode, like into the key events going on.
Yeah.
And because of it, we don't have that much to say.
Yeah. But anyway, I guess that about does it. Join us next week when we continue Star Trek: The Original Series. We are 2 episodes away from the end of season 1, so that should be fun. I guess until next time, this has been Joey Morgan.
I'm Jacob.
Goodbye.